Good morning. I hope you're resting very well this weekend as we gear up for the coming week trade. Welcome to this weekly forecast. We are starting with our instrument DXY, and we are going to look at a couple of other instruments as well. Now, let me start from DXY, the Monday time frame. The last week video, I hope you find it helpful. Now, on the monthly, this is about closing, and we might have it close in a matter of few days. Today's date is 26th of December, sorry, of November. Monday, when the market opens, is going to be 27th, and by the 30th, we'll close the month. So we'll see the way and manner this candle is going to close. So if it's closed like this, it means that there's a pressure, the seller's pressure. All we may be looking for probably is a retracement again to continue the sell. Judging this candle. Now, like I said in the last video, even if we are going to have a pullback after the closure of this monthly candle, probably this area will be area of interest that will serve as resistance, and we won't expect price to push beyond this area of 106. 106, 750 will be a tough call for price to break. Even you can even say that not 106, 750, probably here will be a tough call for price to break. That's 106, 150 will be a tough call for price to break now. But we should expect that price may walk up to this level or not. This is the monthly, that's about 105, maybe 500. If we switch to the weekly and see what we can get here, now this will be a place of resistance for price, and that will be a 105. Yeah, that's about 105 thereabouts. And we don't expect price to push beyond this weekly resistance here at 106. So between 106 and 105, we should see reactions back to from the seller, if dollar would even rally or probably gain strength at all. Now, again, looking at what is happening here, we had said that this to us look like a 1 or an A. So we have an A, we had an A, we have A, B, C of a B, and this is a C. Now, you must not lose the sight of something also, that even though this is a C, we may still have the A part of the C, B part of the C, and the C part of the C. And not until the chance of this being a B part of the C is eroded. Well, there are a couple of things we look, as we are trading, to see if this indeed will mark the end of this trade, and we're not going to get an A, B, C of a C for us to turn to the downside again. It may just be A, B, C of B, and the C, and that's all to it. And we are coming to break structures here. But on the look of things, from the way this is turning quite pretty bearish. We might actually have ended that. But again, you must hold that view that it is still possible that we have an A of C, B of C, and a C of C. So we don't want to disturb our brain with that for now, but it's a possibility. But we need to see inside of this wave as it's progressing to see if that will vanish or not, and we're going to break the top one more time. Then again, in our attempt to break this bottom, I don't want us to be too enthusiastic or too adventurous in our thought. And that is why we are always very conservative in our approach to forex trading or the structure of the wave that we are seeing. And the conservative approach is at least to see that this as an possible A and a B gives at least 100 extension to the downside. So that is what to first look for. You look for 100 extension to the downside. And if it breaks 100 extension to the downside, then you can now begin to again conservatively look for a price action between 123 to 161.8 extension to the downside. That will be the second conservative things you want to the second things you want to think conservatively. 100, like this is A, B, and a C, 100 to the downside. If it breaks that between 123 to 161.8, you look for price action. And if it now breaks 161.8, then you now know that it is not A, B, C anymore. It is 1, 2, 3. You don't right from the beginning thinking that this is a 1 and a 2, and that you're going for the long haul, and you are just shooting your arrow anyhow. So we don't want to do that. We have to be conservative. We have to look at structure. So it looks pretty bearish for now, but we have to see this 1, 2, 3 growing is going to give us an ABC at one point in time or the other. Are we close to having that ABC? Are we done with the internal structure of this? Is another thing that we are going to figure out. Has this given us a motive wave or not? Is it an ABC structure that is going to turn down, or has it completed 4? I think we've done that last week to roll all that out. Now, so what do we expect? This is the daily. When you are seeing things like this is consolidation. Consolidation is where you see correction, okay? Consolidation, like here, corrections. And when you are seeing things like this, you want to pay attention to structure. You want to begin to read what you can read. It's always very difficult to trade, with one, but when you have a complete structure of corrections, you might just be able to trade, after the, at the end of the wave 2 to trade your wave 3. So, but for now, you have not lost anything. It's just the beginning of a move. And once you're able to decode the structure correctly, then you can trade with it. Now, we are calling this a wave 1, ABC of 2, or a wave A, ABC of B. And is this a wave C? Are we turning down? Now, that is of the chart now. So this as an A, B, C, or B, and a C, this has pulled beyond what a C is. So we are seeing this in the early stages as an A1, ABC of a 2, and a 3. Are we done with a 3? Are we done 3, 4, 5 for us to have an ABC? That is another question we need to ask ourselves now. Because after a complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have we done a 4 and a 5 here? Is this a long ABC that will retrace about 50%, as I was telling you here? As I was telling you here, that it's only an ABC correction that will get us close to this point or this point, not a 4. A 4 cannot get us here. So we must understand, the structure of that a wave is giving us. A fourth wave cannot get us to this point or at this point of the monthly. It's only an ABC correction that will get us here. And if we get that ABC correction, it only means that that ABC correction to all these move will now be a 1 and a 2 and a bigger 3. That is all it can give us. So we must understand the broccoli, how it forms, how it shapes itself. So now, what I'm trying to say now, in the first move of a 1 and a 2, is this a 3? Is this a 4? Is this a 5? Are we beginning to see the move to the downside as an ABC that is likely going to get close to like 105, like I talked about? There's a 106. Where's 106? Sorry, this is 105. Between here and 106, we don't expect it to break here. We don't expect it to break that place, okay? So between here and here is what we expect that Deba correction to give us without breaking this bottom. It's going to probably break here, break here, break here, but are we ready to do that? Now let's bring our drawing, okay? So like when we're going up, we are taught that, oh, is this an A, B, and a C for us to turn down? If it's a C of 4, would have turned up at this point, okay? So this is out, so it is not a 4. Definitely, this is our 4, and this is our 5. So we have finished this as an A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a possible C here. A possible C here, whereas this is B, a possible C here. And what I said we should not disturb our brain for now is to begin to think that, okay, we are seeing this as an A of C, a B of C, and to go up as a C of C and to turn down. So we should not begin to bother our heads with that for now. So what we have to look at this, is this wave complete? So if we see this as an A, B, C, no, sorry, if this is, we see this one as a possible 1, an ABC of 2 and a 3, or perhaps we may begin to say, okay, this is a possible 1, ABC of 2, because we are going down. So this B becomes a 2, okay? It becomes a 2. A 2, let me change the color code to these. So it becomes a 2. So this becomes a 1. It becomes a 1. I want you to follow me. So in this becoming a 1, we have to look at this point that now this is the new I, okay? Because it's still part of 1 complete wave here, A, B, C. So the height of B will still be considered in our trying to look for an extension, okay, to the downside. So as this made less than 161.8 to the downside, so let's look at it from what we pick as the origin now, and the height. If we use this one here, it's going to give us a precocious 161.8. But if we use this, at least we must be clear that then if it's more than 161.8, then it's going to become a motive wave. So this is 161.8 here. Since we are using green now. So this is 161.8 here on the DXY. So which means that this is, it has grown beyond a correction. Now we are still going to have more movement to the downside. But of course, you don't want to, why don't you want to continue to, sell from here? That is the question we must answer. Why don't we want to continue to sell from here? Why don't we see this as, okay, a possible correction that is going to go down. So we must be very careful selling from here, because you see this move, you have to be very careful. You have to understand the structure that is brewing here for us to know where to actually take chances and begin to trade. Now, the answer lies in the structure of what we call a 3. The structure lies there. So we have to understand the structure of what we call a 3. Just give me a few minutes. Sorry for that break in transmission. So a structure of 3, which is at least enough here as 161.8. So are we done with a structure of 3? Because we could have said, okay, this is a 3 here, and that this is a 4, and that this is a 5. And you may take this as a 5. And you may say, oh, this is the first move to the downside, a retracement for further. Sorry, this is the first move to the upside, a retracement, and a move for further upside, for us to have that bigger ABC correction. But the answer also lies in here for us, because we must interpret very well. So with 3 will tell us if we are done, because we have a big correction of 2 here. It's the same way you think, oh, we had this move and this one came down, and you are thinking that this is a correction up for further. Of course, it went up, broke the top, came back down to break the bottom. Broke the bottom, came back up to break the top, and then we saw this move. So we must be anticipating that as big as this wave 2 is, we should be expecting a big wave 4, or at least similar, not as big as this anyway, for us to finish. So we need to break the trend line created by this wave, and that's how to use our trend line correctly. We need to break out of this. So when we broke out of here, it's telling us it's an early sign, a warning sign that this thing is done. So of course, price did this, and did this in the new wave correction, and that is where we have the grace to exit if you're able to pick. Because if price did this and you didn't know, and it broke this and you didn't know, and it did this and it did this and you didn't know, you think it's going to continue, you don't know, you are guessing, are we still going up, and the price gave you this, is an opportunity for you to exit before this move. So now we are going to see that once the structure of this wave 3 is completed, if it's completed, the big 4 is going to break it. And at the break of the big 4, you must be looking for a move to the downside again to finish 5 before that ABC. And that is one thing you must be wary of. Now, in case you are thinking that this is an A and a B and a C for us to turn down, in case you are thinking that, I'm not thinking that way, it's not impossible, but the way this thing had grown tells me this is quite motive, and it's also impulsive as well, big candles. So we are about to finish a broccoli on the daily time frame here. We're about finishing it, but I still don't think we had finished it. We are correcting an A, we are doing a B to have a C. When you do that C, you're going to throw last leg to the upside to finish a 5, and the bigger correction of ABC is going to come. That's what I think. And that ABC, of course, may not break here. It could be shallow, depending on the strength of the dollar. It could be shallow. So we have to really be careful to follow that structure. So with that said, for me, that is what we are anticipating at the moment, okay? That is what we are anticipating at the moment. I still don't believe that this is 3, and I still don't believe that this is 4. What I think is just this is 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3, and 4 of the 3 of the third wave. And because it's growing, it is more than, if it's a correction, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight. So if it's a correction and not a motive wave, it's supposed to have ended our 5 here, and price will just continue to move with an impulse to the other side. So I believe that in the inside of the 3, it is 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3, and the 4 of 3, and this is 5 of 3. In that case, if it's 5 of 3, we'll take this out. This one becomes, yeah, a major 3, since we have finished this as the fifth wave of 3. So this is a 5th wave of 3. So that structure, that is the structure is giving me 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3, 4 of 3, and a 5th wave of 3. We're about doing this 4. And after this 4, we're now going to have this 5. And the 5, of course, may case whatever P1 is done here. So we need to focus here. So let me take this out. We know that this is mark of 161.8 from here to here to here. And so we had crossed that. So now, this 4, major 4, is where we need to see where that major 4 is going to be. And once we break the limit of that major 4, then you should know that it is not a major 4. Let me just take this out. So now we have said that for now, this is our 3. Let me use the black. So 3 has ended. Then the 4th wave will not go from 2 up to these points. So just trying to do it with all those ones now, okay? And 4th wave should not go beyond here. So once we break that, and we break this 40 here, then you consider a possibility of an ABC structure to the downside, and we will be looking at correcting the entire run from the bottom here. And from the top there, we move up again. And in that case, we may be looking at a 50 correction, a 50 correction, a 61.8 correction, a 76 correction, which may be very much unlikely, because we see this place of on the daily, if I'm going to bold it and use a big red, as a place where we consider as a big resistance for price. So the option of 78.85 is not on the table. That's what I'm trying to say. If you look at the monthly structure again, oh, sorry, weekly. Let's look at the weekly structure again. Looking at the weekly structure again. So this is hit here. You can see that's that point here. At that point, so 106.800.082 will be a big call for price in form of an ABC correction with this massive move. But of course, when we get there, what we need to do, of course, will be to also follow the structure. So let's break it down. Let's go down to 1 hour. So in this 1 hour, we may be seeing a possible complex correction to give us a 4. And the aim of the correction also is to burn down the trend line, to wind down for us to get close to the trend line to break it, okay? So this is the trend line now, and this is a 3 for us. And if you look at the RSI, what's RSI giving us? The RSI has given us the height of 3 here, because as I said, this is 3.3, and like this is 3.5, okay? So even if you're going to have a 4 and a 5, we don't expect the 5 to break here. So it's going to probably give us an ending diagonal of that structure to wind down. And this will be the height of 3, which is the most low here. And this is truly a 5 in terms of what we are seeing here is a 5 of 3. And now we are still trying to correct these, and probably we might be having another push to tap here once we are done, or break it before we go up. So if you break it, that will now be a leading diagonal, not an ending diagonal. It might break it, you know, for us to correct ABC before we move again. So that's what we're looking at. So we must understand this thing. When we say we are not looking for to sell DXY, you know, anymore from here, we are only looking for a bigger correction to buy it. And that is what we are looking at. So let me quickly flash to, because it's the same thing on euro dollar. I will only quickly flash to the euro dollar for us to see without wasting much time. Now on the euro dollar, just like I said, this could have been a 3, a 4, and at a 5. Are we done to have an ABC just the same way that I talked about? And this is just like, for me, a 3.3. And the RSI is going to be here for height. It's going to be here for the 3rd wave, the 4th and the 5th wave of the 3. And we're about seeing the 4th wave, a 5, the 5th wave, and to come down. So now in our attempt to look at this, we really need to look at this very well to see what exactly is playing out here, okay? We need to see that. Okay, the RSI again. So that's the RSI. So that's the height of 3 here. So it's almost the same thing in an inverse direction. So now, is the beginning of an ABC to the downside? I don't think so. What we mark, we've ended that, and we are doing a bigger ABC. And even if it's a bigger ABC and you don't know, will still be a bigger ABC for more upside. That's what we can see for now, for more upside. I'm trying to pick the low for you on Euro USD. Okay, so let's of course we had finished this as a 4 and a 5 and a 1 and a 2. So this is our 2 here. So with our 2 being here now, so what's the limit of 4 to the downside? The limit of 4 to the downside will be here, where we have this blue for 4. That's the limit of 4 to the downside. So we need to see all that. Then in terms of correction, if we are to correct an ABC, once we are done an ABC, this will be a 50, a 61.8, which I don't believe price is going to break below here at this point. Price, this is the price, this is point you might just want to go a bit below 61.8 if you don't want to, in case you see that big move, which we're not seeing yet. Now, what are we seeing on the lower time frame here? On the 1 hour time frame, what are we seeing? Do we see this as a 5-wave structure? Because this could be an A B, and to give us a zigzag for more upside. And that is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the possibility of this turning out to be a 4, a 5, and if you're going to come down. With that said, let's look at it closely. This looks like an A, B, C, or B, and a C here. To me, I can't see anything to tell me this is impulsive to the downside. No, I see this, that this may probably just grow to be a zigzag or a flat. Okay, so that's what I can see for here, but we need to be very careful. Now, in seeing this as a big, so this is a low to be taken, this is a high to be taken, and the price here had reacted exactly at 85, and this reaction, we need to make good that this reaction is worth trading, because the past, if price breaks 85, then zigzag is gone. Okay, so let's look at it again in terms of retracement. So that's exactly 85 here. So if that is taken, you know, before now, when we see these as 85 and this move to the downside and these, we say, okay, this is a 1, this is a 2, we are going down again. It's when you don't probably look at the bigger structure, you know, because within here and here, this is not a 1 and a 2. This traced more than a 90 or a bit over a 90 if you look at it on the lower time frame. And this, it does not look like a 4, a 5. It doesn't look like, it looks more like an A B in the middle, and this last one running like a 5-wave to the downside. Of course, C will always be a 5-wave structure to the downside if you look at it on the lower time frame. So this is an ABC for me to the downside to give us an A or a W, because at the end of the day, it could be a W. And this, the way Amana, this one went up, it went up as a correction of, you know, when you see this move, an A in the middle, a B in the middle, and probably the C part of B running a 5 waves. Now, this shows more like a 5 waves to the upside than what you'll see here. This is just an A B, and a C, and we may have ended the move to the upside here. Let's look at this area and count. Again, what will tell us that we have broken this structure is always this. You can see this move clearly show that we broke this, and that A is gone. And again, this move So once we break here, we'll show clearly that this B or X is gone, and that this being our W, and this being our X is what we are entertaining at the moment until structure changes. So don't be rigid. Don't be rigid. But we have to look at every possibility in case it changes or not. So we are focusing on A, B. Okay, let me just do something. Let me just shift this one here. And let's shift this one A. And let's shift this one here as a B. So we're looking at this as an A, B, C to have finished this X. So going into the lower time frame, let's look at 15 minutes time frame to see a possible count here. So the possible count here is definitely a 1 and a 2 after B, a 1 and a 2, and inside of a 3, is this a 4 and a 5? Is this a 4 and a 5? This is impulsive, which may have ended a 5 here, and this is just building to the downside in a very funny fashion. Okay, let's see from the low of 2 here, and the height of the inside of a 3 here, of course, within a 4, which is still correct within a 4. Okay, so we saw this as an A base to the downside, and let's look at 5 minutes time frame to clearly look at this portion. Okay, this is like an impulse to the upside, and just like a 5. Okay, I think we have finished that, except price goes up again. So this reacting at 123, so to the downside. So these majors have finished that correction to the. So the first structure to break, in case you want to take a sell, because you should be looking for a sell, and when you are looking for a sell, if this is correct, when you are looking for a sell, if price is not going to break up from here, if you are looking for a sell, then your stop loss should be like just 3 pips behind here. That's what I can say for now. 3 pips behind here. It's very important for us to see that, because if it's going to go to be a zigzag, or another thing you can wait for is to break this structure before you take you can just do a set stop. You can do a set stop. You can do a set stop. That's a distance of how many pips on the W, here, 20 pips, you might have a 20 pips loss before you trade. Or if you are going to use the smallest, take a small risk and see. But from what we can see here, this looks like a 5, and this is just trying to correct to begin to move to the downside. Looking at the way the 1 hour is giving us, we might just be at the beginning of trying to move to the downside to correct the Y leg. And if it's the Y leg that we are going to correct, we are going to look at trying to break this area and trying to come up or come down to do an 100 at this point, a 123 at this point. This is the last place for a 4, and this is 161.8. If this 161.8 to the downside, because 4th might be breached, okay, to tell you that it is not a 4th wave, or it might just still be a 4th wave, but you know that it must not go beyond 161.8, which is at this level. And if we have a sharp turn, it means that we're going to do a big 5, then to come down again, or it might just end the whole thing. We need to see what is going to give us. So from there to this point, to this blue here, and this is 100, 1, 2, 3, 161.8 in red, and that will be, this would finally tell us that it is not a fault anymore. Once we break here, that we're doing a big ABC, you can look for probably a pullback to the upside for more downside in that case. But we're still calling this a possible fall to end around this area for a movement to the upside. This is quite bullish. This is quite bullish. Now, if we go to gold now, let's look at gold and see what gold is giving us. But I believe I'm clear on this. In case you are not clear, you can drop a question, when you look at this video, then I'll attend to it. Let's look at gold. Let's look at gold. And let's look at what gold is giving us. We're also expecting a zigzag correction. I first spotted it, probably that gold is going to give us a zigzag correction. And in case you want to understand levels that price will not break, trying to correct to the downside, go and watch again the last video, because I'm not going to waste my time on that now. So let's look at the inside structure here. We have seen this as a 1 and a 2, and another 1 here and a 2 here. And what we should expect at least is that before we can say, oh, we had finished this movement to the upside, okay, let's look at the bigger structure or bigger picture on the weekly time frame. So we are trying to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is just to take this as a 1 and a 2, and 100 extension, and that we take this one as a 1 and a 2, or a B and 100 extension to the upside. Okay, so we think ultimately, if this one is going to give us an 100 extension to the upside, we should be having. Before I do that, let's just look at the immediate structure to give us an 100 extension to the upside. This is like a 1 and a 2, a 1 of 3, a 2 of 3, and at least to have an 100 extension to the upside. But in having an 100 extension to the upside is not going to be immediate, okay? Things have to take place. We're still bullish for now. Let me go inside of it. Before I bring those drawing to confuse you, let's go inside of a 1 hour time frame to look at this structure. We had this entry here. We were thinking that we were going to have a double correction, so you can't anticipate price. We got here, we thought, oh, we're going to have a second leg of a W or ABC or WXY here to the downside, but that had been nullified with the move by crossing up. So, and this had grown to now become a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside, which clearly finished around this area. Now, we are seeing this as a 1 and a 2 here, because this correction actually gave us a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 to finish this, and we never got something more complex here. So these had finished a 1 and a 2. Now we are pushing up again to do a 1 and a 2. So it's giving us another a 1 and a 2, and this one here, this one here, we have an ABC, And if it's going to grow to be a WXY, is what we'll be interested in. If it is not a zigzag, once it breaks 185.4, then we know that it won't give us a zigzag. We still have to look at euro dollar also. Now we are seeing that reaction at 85. Are we going to break to nullify that? If this one breaks, then we should be looking at the possibility of a flat structure. Probably a running flat, maybe an extended flat, if it's going to give us that. So, but for now, we are still in the middle. So let me bring those drawing without wasting time here. You can't be here all the time and always think that, oh, price is going to do a WXY and will continue to come down to, because if you are to have a WXY, this is the X here. We were thinking that price is going to come down to give us one more leg. Of course, we need to be patient to watch for structure, that once structure is taken, then it's taken. Just like when we got here, when we had this correction, and this one was moving on and moving on, you know, and you were anticipating that, oh, it's too shallow for a 2, we can't have this, an A, B, C, and it's too shallow for a 2, then we should come here and draw another leg to the downside. You're on your own, because you are anticipating, you are thinking within yourself, that correction is too shallow for price. Price will do whatever it wants to do, but always give you, you know, an hint, because in case that would have happened here, this is what you should have expected at this point. We're going to have a zigzag, this area, number 1, number 2, once you have a break out of here, the only thing anybody can probably do from time to time is to guide your stop loss and always look for an area you can probably put your stop loss and look for what price is going to do before you take out your position. Because if you still have your position intact from here, you still continue to go. But because you are too anxious that this is going to be a WXY to the downside, that is out of, you know, you can see this is 85 here, and it has nullified this to give you a WXY to the downside of a zigzag. That is out of the way, because the price even itself has eroded 90, though yet to break the top, it has eroded 90, which means that this thing is going to break the top one more time. Okay, and with that, we call this a 3-1, a 3-2. And the 3-1 and 3-2, we were thinking that, are we going to have a deeper 2 to the downside, you know, at this area before we sprint up? But if we don't get that, we have to look at what the structure is also giving us. So we are here now. Let me go inside of a 15 minutes time frame to look at what is brewing here, and for us to know how to proceed. If it's not a zigzag, it's not a zigzag. So if it's going to be a zigzag, already some of us are we are in at this level, some at this area, you know, but we still need to, in case we are trading, these are areas. This is, if it's going to go deep, it's going to be a good one for us to go up. So you don't have to do anything than just to watch for what the price is trying to do or print now. So if we take it down here, now price had breached 78. If it's still going to give you a zigzag, it's going to be here. If we have reaction at 2004, then it might still give us a zigzag to the downside. We only need to now recalibrate to see where that leg is going to fall. But once price take 205,600, then it's going to break the top. So in case that happens, you should be looking at some possibility of, if it breaks the top, is it going to come here to 1, 2, 3 and give a price action? If it gives a price action here to the downside, it's going to give you a running flat. And that leg is going to be truncated somewhere around 61.8 around this area for more upside. If it's going to give us a price action at this point of 2020, and that area of 2020, then probably, and it does not break it and it gives you a very good price action, then you should be looking at, oh, gold is going to give me an extended flat. And if it gives you an extended flat, it means that it's coming again to break this bottom here. But one thing that gold likes doing, you know, a truncated flat, which is a running flat. Gold does that a whole lot of times. And let me see if I can really see spot where it has done that. Many times, many times it has done that. So don't expect an extended flat on, you know. Maybe most that gold will do, it's a regular flat. Let's see on the lower upper time frame. Okay, let me just take this out for you to see. Let's go to the daily if we're going to see anything on the daily. Let's go to the weekly. Okay, so yeah, this is an example. See, the best gold gave us here is a regular flat here. For an example, this movement, an A, B, and a regular flat of probably an 100 extension regular flat, and it went up. Now, yes, look at this structure here. You know, look at this structure here. Look at this structure here. So this came down like a correction in 5 waves, 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and an ending diagonal here to end this one, okay? And even here, look at this level here of A, B, C. This is a truncation. So you can see A, B, C is a running flat to finish this, the 5th wave. Now, if you come here, this is a 1, and A, B, C, a running flat again to give you this wave to the upside, okay? So it likes giving a running flat. You know, you see more of many running flats, so inside of this trade, running flat is a whole lot there that you see. Then where would this be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4? For us to have a 5 is another thing entirely. Don't let us push it for now. So we see running flats always in the making, except here that we have a regular flat. And gold does running flat. Most of the time, it's running flat. Even if you look at this leg here, that we did here, this is a 1 and a 2, you know, a running flat to the downside to finish this C. So you can see A, B, C, a running flat to the downside. So with that, you must most of the time be expecting a running flat from gold. If you now go to the 1 hour time frame, now here, if it's going to do anything, you should be expecting another running flat. It does that a whole lot of times. So I'm going to end soon. So within this time frame now, we don't know yet what gold is going to give us. So, but we are anticipating that it might just give us another running flat. And this might just be an A at the end of the day. And this one, if it breaks here, just give you a B and may react to the upside and give us a running flat. And before we move. So we'll see how it works. But for now, still hold your position and let's see how everything unfolds. Do have a great week. Bye.